I'm one Indian who is cricket naive. Everybody asks me that question. Indians, you have to be a cricket person. Unfortunately, I'm not. But my respects to you, sir, for achieving what you have done, Mr. Karthik. But you inadvertently just now paid me a compliment. I don't even know if you knew you were paying me a compliment, because he came and said, congratulations to your batch. He thought I was one of your batch. I'm 10 years old. I went into medical school 10 years before this batch. So if I'm looking younger still, don't change your mind. And now I see he's older, you know. So thank you for that. And obviously I have to, pay my respects to Mr. Gopinath. I do watch a lot of your programs. I think it comes just after lunchtime on a Sunday, at lunchtime. So every Sunday I'm at home, my mother forces me that I have to have lunch, and your program is running every lunchtime. So I've seen many of the debates, many of the controversies, very interesting. And thank you for your contribution, sir. And finally, Dr. Vijay Bose, well done. It's what you've done is, I hope, is a fantastic service to the people. I'm saying I hope because I asked you for a copy so that I can read and then talk about it. He said, it's not ready, you just say whatever you want. And then I'll correct it if you're wrong, because if I'm talking on the subject he's writing a book on, he is the authority, isn't he? So he can have the right to come and say whatever you've said is wrong. So let's come to the subject matter. I think I like the book title, The Universal Health Code. I think it's almost like a Bible, isn't it? When you say a universal health code, it's actually a health code. And I hope it's a health code. And what I want to just, can I use 10 minutes?
Yes, please.
Okay. Now, how did we get health so wrong? Did we get health wrong in the first place? My idea is actually not. People keep on saying our ancestors were healthy, they were living longer. I know Bible says Abraham lived for 600 years and and Dasharathan had 60,000 wives, but let's keep that aside. I think we are healthier now than those days. The life expectancy is longer now than those days. But we have certain diseases because of what we have got ourselves into. I mean, living 60 years those days would have been a very long life expectancy because we had diseases that we couldn't conquer. We didn't have antibiotics. Most people died of infections. Most people died of delivery when they were giving birth to a baby. The maternal mortality would have been extremely high those days. So science has done some good to humanity. So let's just not go and say our ancestors lived longer and our ancestors lived better. Maybe they lived better. Now, the major problem for the world in those days was poverty, lack of food. I hope you are addressing that and why we are like this. இப்போ தமிழில் பேசுங்கன்னு சொல்லிட்டீங்க நீங்கள், அப்போ தமிழ்லையும் பேசிடுறேன். ஸோ ஔவையார் தெரியும் உங்களுக்கு. ஔவையார் ஊர் ஊராக நடந்து தான் போவாங்க. எத்தனை பேர் ஔவையார் படத்தை பார்த்தீங்கன்னு தெரில. ஷி ஒன்லி வாக்ஸ் ஃப்ரம் டவுன் டு டவுன், ஃப்ரம் எங்கே கேரளாலேருந்து இங்கே சோழ நாட்டிலேருந்து பாண்டிய நாட்டிலேருந்து நடந்து தான் போகணும். ஷி வாஸ் ஸ்டார்விங் ஆல் த டைம். And there are many instances where there are stories about Avoyar having conversations with Murugan. இல்லையா, கொடியது என்னன்னு கேட்டது. கொடியது என்னன்னு கேட்டப்போ what did she say? கொடிது கொடிது வறுமை கொடிது. So வறுமை கொடிது is starvation is what is the major problem those days. But she was intelligent enough to think actually there are even worse than that. இளமையில் வறுமை, அதனினும் கொடிது இளமையில் வறுமை, அதனினும் கொடிது ஆற்றனா கொடுமை. So she even knew untreatable diseases is even கொடுமை. For the ladies here, அதனினும் கொடுமை அன்பிலார் பெண்டிர். So peace of mind at home is the worst thing for anybody. People are not agreeing to that, but so starvation was the major issue those days, and our body was adapting to it. And starvation was not for the last 100 years or 200 years. Starvation was for millennia. Thousands and thousands of years where humans did not have enough food. So our genetic makeup changed in such a way that wherever there was food, we went and stored it. And we stored it and then used it efficiently. So our body had the capacity to store food. இப்போ நீங்க ஒரு 50 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி 75 வருஷத்துக்கு முன்னாடி பார்த்தீங்கன்னா பியூட்டி இஸ் சம்திங் வேர் ஒரு என்ன சொல்றது ஒரு கிராமத்தில் இருக்கிற ஜமீன்தார்னு பார்க்கணும். ஜமீன்தார் தப்பையாக தானே இருக்கணும். ஜமீன்தார் மல்லிசா இருந்தால் மதிக்க மாட்டீங்க நீங்கள். அந்த மாதிரி ஜமீன்தார் வீட்டு குழந்தையும் கொழுக்கொழுன்னு தான் இருக்கணும். You just have to feed them. So food became part of our culture. To feed someone became part of our culture because centuries and centuries of starvation converted our population into thinking feeding is the most important thing. வீட்டுக்கு வர்றவங்களுக்கு வள்ளுவரே சொல்லாரு, செல்விருந்தோம்பி வருவிருந்து பார்த்திருப்பான் நல்விருந்து வாழத்தவருக்கு. நீங்க சொர்க்கத்துக்கு போனா கூட இங்க இருக்கிறவனுக்கு சாப்பாடு போட்டாதான் நீங்க சொர்க்கத்துக்கு போறீங்க. So feeding, it's all about feeding. So we fed and fed and fed, but the starvation came to an end. The revolutions in farming came, the pesticides came, the electronic and the tractors and the machinery came, and now we have a surplus of food. And do you know something? India wastes the second largest amount of food in the world. The first is China. I thought it was America. India wastes. I looked it up today. You can Google now the top 10 countries which is wasting food. Number 1 is China and the number 2 is India. 780 million tons of food is wasted in India every year. So we are eating them. And we are eating them disgustedly. You go to a party, you go to a wedding, you go to anything, there is a surplus of food. இப்போ இலையில 48 டிஷ் வைக்கணுமா 72 டிஷ் வைக்கணுமான்னு கேட்குறாங்க கல்யாணத்துக்கு. யார் 42 டிஷ்ஷை சாப்பிட்றது? அந்த காலத்தில் கல்யாணம் ஃபுட் இஸ் மச் நைசர் பிகாஸ் it was good 5-6 dishes. Today it is 48 dishes or 72 dishes. So everything that I'm going to say to you, I don't know what's in the book, is about excess. Everything is about surplus. We are eating and eating and eating. Our body can't handle it. It's storing and storing and storing. The body is storing, thinking starvation is going to come. Famine is going to come. Because for thousands, 5,000 years, 10,000 years, our genetic makeup has been thinking that there is going to be a period of starvation. So it's feeding. So we are feeding, no starvation is coming. And then it's all becoming fat. And it's depositing everywhere. It's inflammation. Your microbiota is changing. And all diseases, including cancer. Don't think cancer is not associated with overeating. Your heart disease, your hypertension, your diabetes, your fatty liver, your cancer, every one of this is overeating. And you might add lack of exercise, because exercise is again using up the energy. We're not using up the energy, we're just putting food into ourselves. And that's where we are. I think religions have done something. Today they're saying 18 hours of fasting is good to lose weight. This is the month of Ramadan. Unfortunately, I'm not fasting. Month of Ramadan, 18 hours of fasting. That's what they're doing. So you can eat as much as you want, but you fast, you will lose weight. So somehow you have to burn the calorie. If you don't burn, so that is all my message to you is, the underlying problem is lack of exercise to burn it, and then excess calorie to take it in. I'm going to finish with a beautiful poetry, again Tamil. எல்லாருக்கும் தெரிஞ்ச ஒன்று, but it tells everything about how we have to lead a life. யாரும் ஊரே யாவரும் கேளீர். எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும்ல. முதல் லைன் எல்லாருக்கும் தெரியும். 2வது லைன் யாருக்கு தெரியும்? இரண்டாவது லைன் தீதும் நன்றும் பிறர் தர வாரா. தீதும் நன்றும் பிறர் தர வாரா is so beautiful. அதை விடுங்க, தீதும் நன்றும் பிறர் தர வாரா நம்புறீங்களோ நம்பலையோ, நம்ம தலையெழுத்து sometimes bad things happen to us. அதனால தான் we have fate as something as well. That is also part of our belief in this world. But the third line he says is நோதலும் சாதலும், யாரும் ஊரே யாவரும் கேளு தீதும் நன்றும் பிறர் தர வாரா நோதலும் தனிதலும் அவற்றோர் என்ன. It's exactly the same. Diseases come to us and our ability to come through the diseases is our own making. It's exactly like feeding. It's exactly like தீதும் நன்றும் பிறர் தர வாராய். அதே மாதிரி தான் நோதலும் தனிதலும் is also what we bring into us, and that is something that our ancestors have understood so long. சாதலும் புதுவன் அன்றே வாழ்தல் இனிதன மகிழ்ந்தென்றும் நிலைமை. இதுதான் எக்ஸஸ்க்காக பேசுறது. இது வாழ்தல் இனிதன மகிழ்ந்தென்றும் என்றே முனிவன் இன்னாதென்றும் என்றே. So don't feel so happy that life is going on so well. It's part of our life. It's only one phase of our life. Similarly, don't get so sad that the life is not going so well. That's where your tensions come into life. It's your unhappiness about life. It's your stress in life. So if you leave these two, and then he describes a long sentences of how to lead a life, and he says, life is like a boat. Life is like a struggling boat that is going through a river, and the river is something which is going through a rough time and a smooth time. The smooth time are good times, and the rough times are rough times. And how you navigate a boat through a rough and a smooth river is how you actually lead a life, is what Kanyan Pungundranath says. Actually, it's a very beautiful verse. Even the last two lines, Marchian Periorai Vietkalam Nilame, Siriorai Ihalgal Adhananam Nilame. It's all part of your life. There is no need for hero worship. Don't put down people below you. Everything is there in one song. If you look at Abhaya, she says, Kilo Rainum Taya Urain, அவங்க ஒரே வரியில் சொல்லிடுவாங்க. அந்த மாதிரி, so we lead a life, we lead a good life. We don't have to be too proud that we are doing well. We don't have to hero worship. Control your emotions, control your good times, control your bad times. And everything that comes to you, whether it's good or bad, is what you create. And even diseases that comes to you and the ability to get over it is all up to you. So there is already in our society what you have said in your book, I hope, and I hope your book clarifies everything. Thank you very much.